again, and welcome aboard. There's no microphone. Everybody just tries to reach for it. It's like, where is it? There's no microphone. Robin, aloha, welcome aboard. Happy birthday. My name's Cameron. I have some air vents here for you in the front panel. These are all adjustable. If that gets to be too much, you can turn them down just a little bit or all the way off just by twisting them. That will open and close them. They'll swivel too if you want to point them more on you or away from you. There's one in the ceiling above you. If you want some extra air, you can turn that one towards you right now. I kind of have it facing a little bit away from you. Pocket on the side has a few bags in it just in case you don't like your breakfast. Just in case. Bags are there if you need them. And again, this is our flight control area here between the two of us. I'm going to be accessing this whole area here continuously throughout the flight. Most of the time my arm will be here. This controls up and down so my arm makes that motion. So just be aware of that. If I bump into you, that's me controlling the aircraft. If you accidentally drop your cell phone into this area, please don't touch it. Leave it there. I'll pick it up for you. I would prefer to be the one flying today. All right, welcome aboard. You're welcome. All right, Claire and Christina, welcome aboard. Seatbelts are on. Looks pretty good. My name is Cameron. Air vents above you here in the ceiling will twist open and close if you need to adjust the airflow. They'll swivel too. You can point them wherever you like. Pocket in front of you has a few bags in it just in case you don't like your breakfast. Just in case. And we have Jefferson and Henry. Welcome aboard, guys. Seatbelts are on. Looks good. All right. Again, air vents in the ceiling above you twist open and close. They'll swivel if you want to point them someplace else. Pocket in front of you has the bags just in case. Anybody's first time in a helicopter today? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So just think about it like a magic carpet ride. Anytime the helicopter turns, it'll lean. Just lean with it, kind of like a bicycle, motorcycle, jet ski, or boat. When it goes around the corner, you kind of get pressed into your seat a little bit. We might get some turbulence over by the mountains. That makes the ride more fun. Nothing to worry about. You might get light or heavy in the seat, so it's just updrafts and downdrafts, and just pushed a little bit side to side. Usually by the mountains is where that will happen. If turns or turbulence start to get to you during the flight, the best thing to do is to try to find something out in front of the helicopter to look at, rather than staring out at the side. If you look at something forward towards the horizon line, that's going to help. If you have air on you, that will also help. Other than that, just sit back, relax, take a lot of pictures. I'm going to be pretty quiet for the beginning part of the flight. I do have to talk to the tower and monitor traffic as we leave the airspace. Is everybody ready? All right. Again, my name is Cameron. Welcome aboard. I'm going to get our clearance, and then we'll be off the ground here in just a few moments. All right, we're going to lift up. Magic carpet ride. Up off the ground first, straight up, just like that. Now we turn to the left, and away we go. Pretty shades of blue out here. One lone kiteboarder right now. Probably a few more out here a little bit later. Sometimes you'll see turtles down here too. They will be little tiny light brown objects. Henry, there's one off our right hand side down there. One on the surface, sometimes you'll see them out here. They're kind of tiny though, so they're hard to see. Robin, did you see one? Excellent. Yeah, I didn't see any on that side, but I was looking more on this side at the time. Manta rays and sharks are also possibilities. I haven't seen any manta rays out here for a while, though. We'll only see them if they come up to the surface.
Look inside the let the sound take you away.
How's everybody doing so far? Everybody good? All right. Well, we have our West Maui Mountains here on our left-hand side. These are the older of the two mountain ranges on the island of Maui. These are about 2.5 million years old, and this is Waihe'e Valley here off our left-hand side. Waihe'e is one of the areas where we filmed part of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was filmed on 3 different islands. They used Kauai, Oahu, and Maui to create that film, and this is one of several areas where they filmed here on Maui. If you like to hike, we have a hiking trail. That is straight ahead. There's a little parking area down there. That is the Waihe'e Ridge Trail start point. It heads up to those 2 black water tanks, from the tanks to the trees. You'll wind around in the trees for a little bit, and then you'll come out right along the edge of the valley. Beautiful hike. One of my favorites, definitely a leg workout. It's about a 2,000-foot elevation gain in only 2 miles. You don't have to go up to the top to get a great view, though. Once you come out of the trees here, off our right-hand side, right along the edge there, that's actually a great stopping point if you don't want to do the entire hike. The end of the hike is actually behind this little cloud layer here. There's a peak up there, and at the very top is an observation deck and a picnic table. You can see a little bit of that here now off our right-hand side. Henry and Jefferson, we got a waterfall here coming up, right-hand side. Maybe a little lean here to the right. Light green trees down below us are kukui trees. That's our state tree. They're on all the islands. Might see somebody wearing a layer bracelet made out of kukui nuts. They come from these light green trees right underneath us. This is what 2.5 million years of erosion looks like on the island of Maui. Every time it rains, we'll lose a little bit more of the island as it gets washed out to sea. No hiking trail in the valley itself, so this is the only way to see it by helicopter. Robin, I'm going to head over here to the right. We got some waterfalls straight ahead. This little area is called the Keyhole. We're going to come in pretty close here. Claire and Christina, get ready. I'm going to start with your side as we come in. Robin, if you'd like to, you can look straight down here. So this is the Keyhole. Waterfall's looking amazing today. But a lot of rain this morning. We're going to just continue our turn here. I'm going to get this for Jefferson and Henry next, here on the right side. Welcome to my office. Every island has its own nickname. Maui's nickname is the Valley Isle. We have a lot of very pretty valleys in these West Maui Mountains. They're older, they've had more time to erode. Highest point in the West Maui Mountains is 5,700 feet tall. That's the highest point in these mountains. The other mountain range on the island is Haleakala, which is the third highest mountain in the state, and it is 10,023 feet tall. That's the other mountain range on the island. It's younger than these mountains. Bright orange flowers on the tree here. That's an African tulip, and then our waterfall that we saw coming in, up right on the other side. African tulips are beautiful, but unfortunately they are invasive. They do take over quite a bit, but unfortunately there are a lot of invasive species on the island. We do have a lot of conservation efforts in place to help mitigate the spread of the invasive species, but some days it feels like an uphill battle. Jefferson, along our foothills out to the right-hand side, you're going to see some orchards out here, trees lined up into rows. Those are macadamia nut trees, and they take anywhere from 7 to 10 years to grow before they're ready to produce macadamia nuts. So definitely a long-term return on investment, but they also take about 400 pounds of pressure to crack them open. Now you know why they're so expensive. Macadamia nuts. So straight ahead is the Horn of Kahakoloa, that's the point, sticking into the water. Follow the ridge line all the way up to the top where the pine trees are, and you'll see a house in the middle of all those pine trees. Right on the edge. I'm pretty sure they have a nice view. Not quite as good as our view, though. Now, last time I heard they rented out their house, so I don't know how much it would cost. It's pretty remote out here. But you could have that view if you stay out here and they still rent that house out. It's right on the edge there. I don't think it would be a bad place to live. If you're up for an adventure, you can drive all the way around this West Maui mountain range. However, there's a section of road up ahead that's only 1 lane wide. If you really want to go through the 1 lane section of road, you might want to check your rental car agreement first, because you're probably not covered on that road. And if you still want to go through there, make sure you can back up your car really well. I've seen tires hanging off the edge of the cliff. They backed up a little bit too far. So if you got a backup camera, use it. Try not to back up downhill. You don't want momentum. One of the last times I drove the 1 lane road, there was a car on the side of the road with a flat tire. 1 lane wide. There was just enough room to squeeze by. I was getting ready to pass, and then a huge Cadillac Escalade came down the hill, stopped in front of me, and blocked off the passage. 2 more cars come down behind him and block him in. 2 cars come up behind me and block me in, and now we've got 6 cars facing each other on a 1 lane road where a car has a flat tire. That happened down here. See the 2 houses, or one of our helicopters down there. That's one of our landing spots. That road going in on the far side is where the car was stuck. Look how narrow that road is. You can see the car coming down it right now. There's not a lot of room on that road. 2-way traffic, 1 lane wide. As you make it through the village, though, Auntie Julia has a bright green stand on the side of the road in this little village, Kahakoloa Village. She sells ginger candies, banana bread, drinks, and snacks, and she's got some great banana bread. Just have to brave the 1 lane road to get to it. There are easier ways to get banana bread on the island. Here's 2 cars right against each other. Don't go off the edge. There's no railing. Oh, yeah. Last time I saw somebody get their tires off the edge, they were stuck for 4 of my flights. That was at least 4 hours before the tow truck arrived on a 1 lane road. Once you get out of there, over here below us, the road opens back up into 2 lanes. This is where your heart rate comes down, knuckles unwhiten, and you start enjoying the drive a little bit more. It's a pretty drive. We'll talk about places to stop along this on the way back in. the flatter area. Right up ahead here is an old pineapple field. 2008 was the last time we had pineapples on this side of the island. This is the west side. We do have active fields on the islands. Those are going to be in a little town called Hali'imaile. That's going to be upslope Haleakala. First little town off the left as you go up our big mountain. The west side of Maui out here to the left. If you keep going down this coastline, you'll end up in Ka'anapali and Lahaina. Just on the other side here, you can see some golf courses. We have the plantation and bay courses at Kapalua, and then there's a big hotel out there called the Ritz-Carlton. That is a nice place to stay. That's the multi-story beige buildings out there, Ritz-Carlton. Merriman's Restaurant's also out here on this side of the island. Merriman's great food. They're right on the ocean. They have amazing views. They also have a really nice Mai Tai. Their Mai Tai comes with a liliko'i foam. Liliko'i is Hawaiian passion fruit. So they make a foam out of that and put that right on top. It's actually really tasty. You can get the same Mai Tai at Monkey Pod in Wailea, which is owned by Merriman. That's the west side of Maui. We're going to head over to Molokai next, straight ahead. So every island has its own nickname. Maui is known as the Valley Isle because it has lots of pretty valleys. Molokai is known as the Friendly Island, as long as you don't stay too long. Population out there about 7,500 people, so not a lot of people living out there. You can get miles of beaches, hardly anybody on them. You can get beaches to yourself, and there's one single traffic light on the entire island. Out to the left, we have another island. This is Lanai. Lanai is our pineapple island. 98% of that used to be owned by the Dole Pineapple Plantation. That's why it's called the Pineapple Island. It's actually now owned by Larry Ellison, former Chief Executive Officer of Oracle, which is a database company. There's only about 3,000 people living on that island. And all of these islands around us are Maui County. So this is all one county. We're crossing over the Pailolo Channel. Pailolo means crazy fisherman in Hawaiian, and that's because it gets pretty rough out here. A lot of little whitecaps out here. Just imagine being in a tiny boat, fishing off the side in the middle of all this water. Winds getting stronger, waves getting bigger, waves crashing over the top of your boat, filling up your boat, boat starts to sink, sharks circling around you. Crazy fisherman. You know how to tell when sharks are nearby you in the water. The water will taste salty. Now, if you'd like to avoid those sharks, don't swim in cloudy water. They won't be able to see you, and that's not a good thing because they can still sense you. If they can't see what you look like, they may try to taste you to see what you taste like. They'll spit you out. You don't taste good to a shark, but that being said, if they taste you, it's probably going to hurt a little bit. So clear water is where you want to be. If you see any sharks, just keep an eye on them. They're fun to watch, and you also want them to be able to see you. That way they will know you're not a tasty morsel and leave you alone. Clear water is where you want to be anyways. Lots of beautiful sea life out here to check out. Multicolored reef fish along our reef, one of which is our state fish, and our state fish is called Humuhumunukunuka Apua'a. Humuhumunukunuka Apua'a is a trigger fish. Might see turtles out there swimming around. They're called Honu in the Hawaiian language. H-O-N-U, Honu. Much easier to say than Humuhumunukunuka Apua'a. If you do see a turtle on the beach, though, please stay back about 20 feet or so. They do come up to rest, and they are protected. If you disturb one, you can get a multi-thousand-dollar fine. They're very protected out here, so admire them from a distance. Let them rest. Again, and straight ahead, we have a rock that looks like a turtle swimming across the ocean. Head in front, shell behind it, flipper coming out here towards us. The rock that looks like a turtle, so therefore they named it Elephant Rock. Elephant. So the elephant is actually the turtle shell. That's the body laying down, head in the water. Trunk of the elephant coming out. Not the best angle for the elephant. We'll see if we can catch it a little better on the way back. All right, Henry, right side, Elephant Rock, looking absolutely nothing like an elephant. Pretty shades of blue surrounding the rock. Lighter shades will come out with shallower waters. Same effect as the coastline up ahead here. Shades of turquoise and aquamarine. We have amazing coastlines. Claire, if you look further out to the left, there's a reef out there. You can see the water breaking offshore. That's hitting that reef. That reef extends out over 1 mile from shore, and it keeps going all the way around the south side of the island. Pretty reef. See the lighter shades of blue out there. Over to the right is Murphy's Ranch, grass-fed beef, and organic farms. We have a lot of grass-fed beef on the island. When land was cheap, ranchers bought up grassland. That's one of the ranches. Kind of hard to even imagine cheap land in Hawaii nowadays. We had a report that came out recently. We have the second highest housing cost in the United States. We were beat out by California. That's where I'm from. I grew up in the Bay Area. Yeah. I was Fremont and Newark. I've lived in Oakland, San Francisco. I've lived in Campbell. I lived in Ben Lomond, Felton, Scotts Valley, Santa Cruz. I've been all over, yeah. Yeah, grew up in Fremont and Newark, though, for like the first 18 years. And then for flight training, I was in Los Angeles, so Southern California. Yeah, I don't like it that much either. When you're used to Northern California, it's not that great. Nice sunny beaches. We had better weather, though. More consistent flying weather, I should say. So we have rainforests all around us. You're going to find rainforests on the northeastern sides of the island. That's the wetter side. It's always the wetter side. Winds primarily come from the northeast to bring all that moist air with it from across the ocean. It's going to get pushed up into the mountains. It kind of builds up on the northeastern side. Back over on Maui, we can get up to 400 inches of rain a year on the northeastern side. It's one of the wettest spots on Earth. Looks just like this, densely packed, beautiful green rainforest. Jefferson on the right-hand side is a valley called Halava. This valley was hit by a tsunami in 1946 and wiped out. Anybody that was living here at the time that wanted to return has rebuilt. Not everybody wanted to come back. Those that live in the valley live a simple lifestyle. There's no electricity down there unless they have a solar panel or generator. They're also taro farmers, and taro is kind of like the Hawaiian potato. It's a starch. If you put taro into bread, it will turn your bread purple. You'll end up with purple donuts and purple dinner rolls, and you might see those rolls in our stores out here. The donuts I've only seen on Oahu. They are very purple, but they still taste like donuts. Robin, straight ahead. This is the north side of the island. The north side of Molokai is known for its sea cliffs. We have some of the highest and most beautiful sea cliffs in the world. You can probably tell how much I hate my job. I have to face this every single day. No wonder I can make it out of bed in the morning. Claire, we're going to head right for the back waterfall straight ahead. Down the center, that's Papala'ua. That's the shorter one. Papala'ua is actually the highest waterfall that runs continuously on the island. 1,200 feet tall. The waterfall to the right of it comes and goes with the rain. That one's a little bit taller. Just for a little perspective, the one on the right is 300 feet taller. I'm going to bring the left side in here first. Claire, you're going to be able to look straight down. Papala'ua, 1,200 feet tall. We're going to give a little bit of a lean here. Just like that. It is not a bad office view. Alright, Henry, I'm going to bring your side over. Grab that picture right through the front here again. Did you get it? You got a video, right? Okay. Alright, keep doing this turn nice and easy. And then, Henry, here you go. If you want to look down, you can. Papala'ua, 1,200 feet tall. I'll give you just a little bit of a lean here. Every waterfall on every island is fed by rain. The more rain we get, the better the waterfalls become. We usually get at least a little bit of rain every day in the mountains. Today we got quite a bit. Actually, it's been filling up our waterfalls. It's been amazing. Yesterday, these two are kind of about the same as this one here. They were pretty dry. So that rain has been filling up our waterfalls. We get a little bit of rain every day, but even with a little bit of rain, the smaller ones do dry up. Down below us, more of our light green kukui trees. You can see up on the ridges here, too, the lightest green that you see, that's our state tree. So a thin waterfall coming up on the left is called Kahiva. This one's actually the highest waterfall. When it's flowing, it's not always here. It tends to dry up pretty quickly. When it is here, this one is 1,750 feet tall. That's Kahiva. Pretty thin. Once the rain stops, it will dry up pretty quickly. And then we have our sea cliffs straight ahead. Some of the highest and most beautiful sea cliffs in the world. These reach over 3,000 feet tall. Black Sand Beach out in front, broken up lava rock. This is Wailau Valley. We have some people that live out here. They live off the land. They hunt their own food, grow their own crops, they fish, they homeschool their children. There's no electricity out here. There's no roads to get here. This is only accessible by boat or a very long swim, or helicopters, because we can pretty much land anywhere. That's Wailau. We'll get that on the right side here in a moment. We're going to go a little further up before we turn around. Veil Falls, straight ahead, like a little bridal veil. Wind catches it, fans it out a little bit. Beautiful today. It was barely a trickle yesterday. Slow down just a little bit here. Christina, see if you can grab that picture here as we go by. Keep it nice and easy here. Veil Falls. And then ribbons of water running down the left-hand side. Now before we turn around, up ahead we have a dome-shaped rock. That is Makapu Rock. The peninsula on the other side is Kalapapa. Kalapapa is where the leper colony is located, and there are still patients with leprosy out there. 5 of them left, not too many, and they're averaging around 87 years old. Leprosy, now known as Hansen's disease, is treatable. They don't have to stay there if they don't want to, but that's their home. They're going to finish out their lives at the leper colony. Our islands are created layer by layer, built up over time, solidified lava. The whole side of the island of Molokai came crashing down about 2 million years ago. Earthquakes, tectonic activity basically sheared off this entire side. Fell into the ocean, left us with 3,000-foot tall sea cliffs and waterfalls. Jefferson, right side, Veil Falls coming up. Amazing from this view. When it's flowing like that, that's my favorite waterfall. Black Sand Beach out in front, Wailau Valley. House in the trees, campers at the end of the beach. Those in the houses have lived here for decades. Anybody in the beaches here right inside the tree line, they're visitors. There's no private beaches anywhere in the entire state of Hawaii. If you see a beach, it is always public access and you can access it. That one does require a boat to get out to. Henry, you can see the layers in our lava rock here. This is how the islands are built. It's just layer upon layer, solidified lava built up over time. We've got a couple goats out here. They blend in quite a bit, but there's a bunch right up ahead here. Look for the dark shapes here, just coming up on the right. Some of them have some white spots on them. A bunch of them all grouped together there. The goats can get anywhere. I've seen them in some pretty strange areas. They can go up and down the cliff like it was flat. It's actually pretty impressive. And we'll get one last peek at Papala'ua as we pass by, 1,200 feet tall. That's going to be on our right, all the way to the back. Besides goats, we also have pigs, deer, and mongooses running around. Mongooses are long, skinny animals with short legs and long tails. They like to keep you on your toes and run right across the road in front of you when you're driving. They're going to be bigger than a squirrel, probably about the size of a weasel or ferret. There are no squirrels, weasels, or ferrets on the island. So if you see anything that reminds you of that, that's absolutely a mongoose. Back over on Maui, we also have wild cows. Watch out. Our crazy feral cows will stand around and moo at you all day long. They actually got away from our ranchers, so over time they would get loose and escape, wander out into the rainforest. Now we have wild cows living the life on Maui, hiding out from the ranchers, probably having a party someplace. Not a bad life. Just watch the blind corners in the rural areas, especially at night. You might have a cow in the middle of the road. That happened to me one night. And then we have our wild chickens. You can't miss them unless you close your eyes. They're everywhere. Our roosters, unfortunately, do not know how to tell time. They're going to crow whenever they feel like it. That can be all day. That can be all night. That can be all day and all night. And they like to wander through our yard, especially at night. So we'll keep our fans going in the rooms at night. That does help circulate the air, but more importantly, it creates white noise, and that helps drown out those roosters. That way I don't have to get up and drown them myself. All three places I've lived on Maui have all had roosters very close by. Can't get away from them. All right, we're back to Halava, hit by the tsunami 1946. The tsunami hit everywhere. It wasn't just this valley. That valley was hit pretty hard, though. It's pretty low. Water flooded in there, basically lifted up everything and then carried it back out to sea. That was 1946, and of all days for the tsunami to hit, April 1st. Yeah, some people thought it was an April Fool's joke. 3 years later, we installed a tsunami warning system, so now we have a statewide system of sirens. Those are all over the island. We'll test them at the beginning of each month to make sure that they're all working. That always happens on the first working day of the month at 11:45 a.m. So 11:45 on the first working day of the month. That's nothing to worry about. Alright, we're going to be coming up on that elephant. Claire and Christina, see if you can look across the helicopter as we come around it. I'm going to point out some features. The elephant will last about 2 seconds, so it's not very long. Looking at the big rock only, that's the back of the elephant facing us. So we've got the tail in the water, which runs up the back, creating the spine. On the opposite side is the trunk, laid out into the ocean. Next we see the top of the head come into view. That's going to connect with the trunk, creating the bridge of the nose. Legs are basically tucked underneath it, laying on its side. Here comes the bridge of the nose. We're about to see the elephant here. Right there, you can see the mouth. 2 seconds. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Right here it starts to change. The body rounds out into the turtle shell. Trunk becomes the flipper. The rock out front becomes the turtle's head. And then just like that, we're back to our turtle. Claire, Christina, were you able to see it? You guys got it. Perfect. 2 seconds for an elephant. The rest of the time you see a turtle, and they still named it Elephant Rock. I'm also a little curious how they knew what an elephant looked like. There's not too many elephants running around Hawaii. All right, back across our crazy fisherman channel, back over to Maui.
Sleeplessly embracing butterflies and needles line my seamed out drawings in case I need it.
deepest part of the channel is almost 850 feet deep between the two islands. Has anybody seen any whales? I haven't seen any yet. It's close to whale watching season. Usually right around November here is when we'll start to see a few of them. Still kind of few and far between at this point. Our humpback whales give birth in warmer waters by the equator. They'll start migrating up to Alaska where waters are colder. We'll get them for about 6 months through that migration, and we usually start seeing them here around November. There's been a few sightings. I had one pilot friend of mine that said he saw one last week, just one. I haven't seen any yet. The earliest sighting this year was September 14th, reportedly. That's really early for whales. Our humpback whales give birth here in these warmer waters, but peak season is going to be right around mid-February. So January, February, March is when we get a lot of whales out here. When they're around, you can hear them underwater. And even now, if you have a whale passing by, if you're out there swimming, if you put your head underwater and there's one that happens to be going by, you might be able to hear whale song. During peak season, January, February, March, overlapping whale song. Can't miss it. Also, dolphins out there too. They'll like to play with the whales. The dolphins are here year-round, so there's always a chance to hear dolphins underwater. And those are spinner dolphins. They leap out of the water, do spins, and then dive back in. Molokai Valley, longest valley on the island. It goes all the way to the back of our West Maui mountain range. Straight ahead we have Red Cliff coming up. This is iron-rich volcanic rock and soil. Iron's going to rust over time, giving us that red color. Pretty shades of blue against that red rock. This is one of the reddest spots on the island. If you're on the road there, the entire embankment right here in front of us is also red. Take a look right underneath us, red rock against the blue ocean. One of our old pineapple fields now here underneath us, the flatter area, mostly overgrown, but you can kind of see where Rose used to be. And then up ahead, look at all the cars out here. So they're trying to check out the blowhole. That's going to be just off from where the cars are, down to the coastline. Right there, just kind of came into view. A lot of people down there. Watch that area. See where the white water is up on top of the rock? Everybody's kind of standing around. Just watch that area. Let me slow down a little bit. There it goes. That's a good one. So big splash. Look at that. Some people got wet. This is the blowhole. A lot of people like to come out here to take a look at that, and they'll get pretty close. Just do not get too close. There have been cases where people have been sucked into the blowhole. Don't get right next to it. Alright, well, that went off at least once there. We're going to turn, just let the helicopter lean you here. Coming around. Alright, so there's the hole in the rock. It's about to go. Well, it looks like it was about to go. Give it a moment. Let's see if this next wave will do it. Right off our right-hand side, see all the people hanging out there? They're standing outside of it. And there it goes. A little bit. That one was much smaller than that first one. There it goes. So if you're down there, again, be careful, don't get too close, but also watch for big waves because they can knock you off your feet if you're not paying attention. So it usually comes in a few sets. It just depends on the set and the timing. He's wanting to do it, but it's just a little bit of mist coming up at the moment. There we go. Still just doing a little bit. So this is the northwestern side of Maui. It's a pretty drive. Continuing from the blowhole, you've got areas to the side you can just pull off for pictures. There's a lot of little areas to the side of the road. And then straight ahead is our tall sea cliff. Right behind this one is a little parking area. Park right there, and then it takes you probably about 30 seconds or so to walk up to the cliff. That's a great vantage point. You can even see the blowhole from there. And then we have a hiking trail. Loops out and back again. The outside loop will take you out to a park bench, and that's coming up between these two little hills here. It's right at the top there where the grass meets the dirt. Great little spot to relax and watch the waves. Shannon and Robin, up ahead we have our tide pools. Straight ahead here. Little fingers of lava jutting out. These are called the olivine pools. A lot of people like to come out here to go swimming in them. Just don't go down there if we have big waves. Big waves can knock you off your feet, scrape you up on the rocks, or carry you out to see if they're big enough. Try not to turn you back to the ocean. We do get bigger than normal waves every once in a while. Those are the ones that are going to catch you off guard. Just be aware. We'll get some pretty big waves here in the wintertime. Jefferson, right side, this is the one everybody likes to go swimming in. So a few deeper pools in there. Some people swimming there right now. And then after that, you probably want to turn around, head back the other way, or you'll head into the one-lane road straight ahead, Kahakaloa Village, unless you want some good banana bread. Auntie Julia's open till 4. She'll sell out a banana bread early, so she does say come before 2 if you want banana bread, and if you want to brave that one-lane road. Again, there are easier ways to get banana bread on the island. That road's not for everybody. Some people find themselves on that road by accident. They think it's going to be a shortcut over to the airport. Definitely not a shortcut. I've seen times when there's like the Lahaina highway is kind of blocked for traffic for some reason. People start coming that way. People go the other way. They all meet up, and then you got a line of cars on a one-lane road stacked up trying to pass each other. Not fun. Horn of Kahakaloa, we have the house at the top of the cliff here off our right-hand side with their awesome view, just not as awesome as ours. Not a bad place to live unless you hate one-lane roads. It's going to be one lane both ways out of there. Alright, we are getting close to the airport, so at this point I'm going to have to go pretty quiet the rest of the way in. Just sit back and relax. We'll be on the ground here in just a few minutes. That is Haleakala in front of us, third highest mountain in the state. Hidden behind the cloud layer out there now. It is 10,023 feet tall. It's the third highest in the entire state. And it means House of the Sun, Haleakala. In the mornings, if the mountain is clear, from certain angles it's going to look like the sun rises up out of the mountain. We were supposed to go that way, I believe, with this flight, but we had to reroute you because it's just all clouds. This is going to be the better flight anyways today.
But I know deep inside I'm still alive. Let me take it back and you'll see. Remember getting lost and found your whole world inside of one road town. Let's set your mind at ease. The tropical breeze and Uncle playing backseat. We used to spend all day.
That is a dormant shield volcano. A shield volcano gets that name because it looks like a warrior's shield laying on a battlefield.
Please hold me now, I try not to live in the past. But when my mind starts to run, then it sure runs fast. Clear skies on that green, green grass. In the valley of the kings, on that old rope swing. And if you climb up in the tallest trees and get a quick glimpse of what the day might be, then you'll know deep inside it's still alive. So whenever
So dormant shield volcano.
remember getting lost and found your whole world inside of one.
A shield volcano, again, gets that name because it looks like a warrior's shield. The shape comes from our lava. Here in Hawaii, it's more fluid, so it's going to spread out more before it cools down and solidifies. We're going to slow down just a little bit. We got an air traffic control system holding us here for a moment. We got an airplane on final approach. We're going to be passing behind them. So shield shape, the liquid nature of the lava allows gases to escape so they don't get trapped and don't build up. And because of that, when we actually do have an eruption, there won't be a big explosion. Nothing like Mount St. Helens or Mount Fuji. So here in Hawaii, even our volcanoes are laid back. Last eruption of Haleakala happened around the year 1790, creating the rift zone sloping down out of the clouds all the way down to the coastline. You can drive out to the black lava fields out there. That will be La Perouse Bay. It's kind of a narrow road. There's areas where it's kind of one-lane-ish, but you'll be passing through the black lava fields to get out there. Just take the road till it goes and ends. Old sugar mill is out here to the right with the smokestacks. All this used to be sugar cane. That went away 2016. They were losing money off the industry, had to shut that all down. Now we're using it for farming. That's actually a good thing for us. Good change. We were getting about 90% of our food shipped out to us. That's a lot of reliance on outside sources, especially when everybody's having shipping and supply chain issues all over the world. So that's going to be a process. It looks like every single week we've got another field that's getting ready for planting. Sugarcane ended at the end of 2016. That was the last harvest. The fields here in front of us, those are oranges and limes. We do have a lot of citrus growing on the island right now. Lemon fields behind us. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me today, letting me share a little bit of my office view with you. I hope you enjoyed it. When we touch down, just stay seated, keep the headsets on. We're going to take a few moments to cool down the engine. We'll start shutting things down. Once we get everything shut down, that's when we'll get out, and I'll have somebody open up the doors for us. Welcome back to Earth. Alright, this part will take about 30 seconds or so to cool down the engine before we can start shutting things down. I got you back a couple minutes late. I hope nobody minded. Alright, you guys have fun? Kind of hard not to like my job. Especially on a day like today with the waterfalls looking amazing like that. All that rain really helped us out this morning. Alright, we got about 15 more seconds. While we're waiting for that, you can undo the seatbelt. For the front seat, you only have to undo one buckle. Then just slip those right off your shoulders on both sides. I'm going to start our shutdown here.